United Palace in Washington Heights is going on right now, actually, bringing together the shining stars of Broadway to celebrate outstanding achievements in theater. The red carpet event was attended by Lupita Nyong'o, Skylar Astin, Anna Wintour, Dylan Mulvaney, Antoine Hopper, Emilio Sosa, Jessica Chastain, and hosted by none other than Oscar winner and Hamilton alum Ariana DeBose is hosting. Keep your fingers crossed for your favorites. It airs on CBS and is coming up right now. Warner Brothers Picture Animation inks its first look deal with Locksmith Animation. An accident during a planned stunt on the Morocco set of Paramount's Gladiator sequel has left 6 crew members with non-life-threatening burn injuries. Mel Gibson is not producing an Operation Underground Railroad child sex trafficking documentary, contrary to popular belief. And Ryan Reynolds and Kenneth Branagh are set to star in Apple and Skydance's action-adventure Mayday. Superman Legacy casting heats up as Nicholas Hoult, Rachel Brosnahan, and Phoebe Dynevor advanced to in-person screen test. Will Chamberlain docuseries scores the summer premiere, and Paul Eckstein, godfather of Harlem, co-creator, passed away at age 59. Johnny Depp's Jean Dubarry lands a domestic distribution deal from Vertical, and Fletcher is returning to direct Hocus Pocus 3. Anthony Hopkins is returning to UTA Talent Agency, and Mr. Loverman, Lenny James, is to lead the BBC adaptation of Girl Woman, other scribe Bernardine Evaristo's 7th novel. Elle Fanning and Sarah Paulson are set to star for Mirror Fox I Am Sybil, based on the famed case of multiple personality disorder. And today on the Curvy Film Critic, we have reviews of Flamin Hot, directed by Eva Longoria. We've got reviews about Daliland. We've got the cast and creatives from The Blackening, and Sasha Calle, aka Supergirl, coming up on the Curvy Critic right now.
Hold up. Wait a minute. I wish you love, peace, and hair grease.
Love, peace, and hair grease, y'all.
Straight from the hip.
This is Carla Renata, aka the Curvy Critic, and I shoot straight from the hip.
Yeah, you know I'm always shooting straight from the hip.
Hi, everybody. Happy Tony Sunday. Yay! I am so happy to be with y'all today, and I'm going to make this short and sweet and to the point because I got to go watch the Tonys, as I said in the intro. But I am Carla Renata, and you have tuned into the Curvy Critic with Carla Renata. And what we do here is we talk about movie reviews, and we interview people above and below the line in the film industry. If you are on YouTube, give me a big thumbs up to let me know you are here. Click that bell for notifications and subscribe to the channel, because you never know who you might see, because I got some people for you today. And if you are on Twitter, honey, send me a message. If you are on LinkedIn, honey, send me a message. Because like I say, it really helps me when I'm doing this live if y'all talk to me, because I can always talk back. So let's get right into it, shall we? I always let you know what I did the week before. And this week was a busy one. I had a lot of writing assignments. But in addition to that, I hosted the Spotlight Awards. I talk about the Spotlight Awards often. It is something that is near and dear to my heart. It is a arts program in the Los Angeles area that is produced by the Music Center, where we give scholarships out to kids that are from sophomores to seniors in high school in the categories of non-classical voice, dance, instrumental jazz, and acting. And not only did I do all of that this year, but I was also one of their hosts. I was so incredibly excited to join them at that capacity. I had an assignment for before I get to that, I went to see the screening of Daliland, and they had a fabulous after party where I got to meet Sir Ben Kingsley and talk to him about his role as Salvador Dali. And this is just a little photo from that. I just loved the way that they did the drinks and stuff. It was kind of cute. And then I went over to the Skirball Center because I was on assignment there, and I went to the gala for EDLA, which stands for Everybody Dance Los Angeles. And it's an organization that is committed to transforming lives and communities through the power of dance. And I was a guest there, and they honored a lot of people, including this woman right here, who Everybody Dance LA is inspired by her daughter, who died tragically in a car accident. But you'll be able to read about that in Variety when I write that piece. And I also have a piece coming out in The Wrap this week centered around The Little Mermaid. Having said all of that, y'all, we're going to talk about Flamin Hot, because I've been promising y'all this one for a couple of weeks. Flamin Hot is directed by Eva Longoria. It is a Searchlight Pictures joint. It's produced by Devon Franklin, and it is currently streaming on Hulu and has been so for the last couple of days. It deals with, if you've ever had those flaming hot Cheetos or those flaming hot Doritos or any of that spiciness that kind of lingers in your mouth way after you've had that food in your mouth was thought up by a man named Richard Montañez. He is the son of a Mexican immigrant and was a janitor at Frito-Lay when he came up with the idea for Flamin' Hot Cheetos. His creation, inspired by the flavors in his community, revitalized Frito-Lay and disrupted the food industry. This is an important story for this reason. It is an immigrant story. And it is an immigrant story that shows that if you don't give up and you stick to your dreams, regardless of what people are telling you you can and cannot be, anything is possible. That is the big takeaway of Flaming Hot. In addition to finding out about Montañez. Richard Montañez started out as a janitor, but he worked as an executive of the head of the multicultural department at Frito-Lay, and he stayed there for somewhere over 30 years. I don't know the exact number, over 30 years, but he was at Frito-Lay for over 30 years as an executive in the multicultural department. He just recently retired in 2019, and his wife was ride or die right by his side. The young lady that plays his wife is going to be starring in a really big film coming up. I can't say anything because I don't know if it's been announced that she's playing that role or not, but I did go to a special screening where most of the cast was there. And they talked about Richard Montañez, they talked about the film, and they talked about how it meant so much to them to have this film centered around the Latino community and how excited they were to have this film by the lovely Eva Longoria hit screens on Hulu this week. So that is Flamin' Hot, which you can stream right now on Hulu. Another film that I saw was a film called Daliland, and it starred Sir Bing Kingsley. Now, this was a film that played at TIFF, and it deals with Salvador Dali, who is like a surrealist artist. He has some crazy paintings, but he was a little eccentric, and it deals with his life after he was like the toast of New York, like how he kind of went on a downward spiral, so to speak. And then they do little flashbacks and things to tell you how he got to be Salvador Dali, this celebrated artist. But the script is I don't know about that script, but what I and this is by the script. The screenplay is by John Walsh and it's directed by Mary Barron. Mary Barron did a great job directing, but this film is spectacular because of the performances. Sir Ben Kingsley, y'all, if you are not familiar with who that brother is, you need to check him out. He's done a plethora of films, but he's mostly widely known for winning the Oscar for playing Mahatma Gandhi and Gandhi. But when I tell you in Daliland, which is produced by Magnolia Pictures, he is doing a daggone thing. He is doing a daggone thing. So this is the premise of the film. In 1974, a young gallery assistant who he calls San Sebastian is drawn into the wild, never-ending party that is Salvador Dali's life in New York City. He helps this aging genius prepare for an important show and discovers everything is not as it seems. And when I tell you everything is not as it seems, it is not. The costuming, the production design of this film is absolutely on point. And the performances, I can't say enough about the performances. Even the little dude that is in The Flash, Ezra Miller, he's playing the young Salvador Dali to Ben Kingsley's older Salvador Dali. And I got to tell you, for all the controversy swirling about around Ezra Miller can act his ass off. I'm just saying. So there's that. But there's another film that's coming out this week, which I have to let you guys see this interview. It's a film called The Blackening, and you've heard me talk about it a zillion times. It is written by um, I'll let you see who it's written by. I'm not going to tell you because it's a really long interview and then I'll recap it after the fact. But baby, The Blackening basically deals with this film. It's a film where, you know how in horror films the black people are always the first ones to go. And I remember when I said that about black people in a horror film and a sci-fi film, when I think the Tomorrow World came out, and I said that people came for me online because I said that like I was saying something that wasn't new. I'm like, everybody knows that the black people are always the first ones to die in a horror movie. Like, come on, like you don't know that? You know that. Stop playing. But it's written by Tracy Oliver, who everybody knows from Girls Trip, and Tim Story, who y'all know from a whole bunch of other stuff. He did Shaft. He did a couple of animated things. You know him. You know him. You love him. But anywho, I spoke with Tracy, Tim, Jay Farrow. Who else did I talk to? Antoinette Robertson, Dwayne Perkins, Cinqua Walls, Grace Byers, Zamayo, Melvin Gregg, Jermaine Fowler, and Jay Farrell. I spoke with all of them, and I have a truncated version of this interview here, but I have put up the full interviews on YouTube, and you can catch them in a minute, okay? So here is my interview with the entire cast and creatives of the Blackening, and I asked them some crazy questions, but we had a good time. So take a look and a listen to that interview right now. Hey, y'all.
Hey,
Hi.
what's happening?
Good to see you again.
It's good to see y'all too. Why y'all just put all the Black people's secrets in one movie? Y'all ain't right.
Come on now.
We still got some left.
Yeah, right.
Y'all ain't right for that. Oh my God, y'all are not right for that. And when you started quoting Sister Act at the screening I was in, we hollered.
I love that.
Loud. Thank you so much for all of that. I laughed my buns off. But I want to ask both of you this. How did the conversation go where y'all got together and decided, let's collab and write a horror movie where all the Black people are in it?
Honestly, I saw this short with that Dwayne had done, and it was like this Comedy Central thing, and that was one of the selling points to me. I was like, there's just a bunch of Black people in this cabin, and they're all different, and they're debating who's Black and who's not, and I just thought it was hilarious. And so it started from that little nugget. But usually in a commercial horror movie, it's a mostly white cast, and then you have your couple of tokens. But even Get Out, when I thought about it, I was like, oh, it's still a mostly white cast, and then there's like a Black person in it. So I was like, we haven't really seen all Black people. They're just starring, and they're fully realized characters, and they're not fitting into somebody else's narrative. It's about them. So I think that was that warmed my heart when I saw the short, and I was like, this is unique, and I want to make a movie out of it.
That original premise was always very strong, and so then when it came into a film, it was just like, oh, we have to create these characters, give them depth, give them character, and what are we saying with them? So it was hard, but one of the most fulfilling experiences I've had in my life so far, to be able to it feels like I have a child that it has grown with me. And so
I love that.
Yeah, that the journey is just as important to me as the movie, because the movie would not be a thing without the journey.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Wow.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Oh, now you want to be insightful.
Should have seen other interviews, man.
And y'all are holding it down for the culture. Both of y'all are holding it down for the culture.
Thank you.
Yes, I love it. This had brilliant casting. It was brilliant writing. It was a really great premise. But I really want to know, if y'all were in a horror movie together or a scary movie together, which one of y'all would be the first one to go?
Ouch.
Whew.
I think Tracy's smarter than me, so for some reason I think I would do something dumb first.
I wasn't gonna say that, but
Yeah.
I totally agree. So I'm glad that he led with it. But I'm absolutely lasting longer than
Yeah,
that.
she's a writer, so she
Yeah.
would convince me to do something brave,
Yes.
and I would.
I'd ask him to try out something,
Yeah.
and then he'd kill himself, and then
Oh,
Hey.
Come on, lips.
let's go, vibes.
Pink. I'm getting face. Let's
over
go.
here.
Cats. You was ready
I'm
for
Paula
us.
Renata, the Curvy Film Critic. What's up, y'all?
What's
What's
going
up?
on?
Hello, before I even open my mouth.
Yes.
Thank you. Look, that's a vibe right there.
That's a whole vibe. Yeah.
Thank you. I appreciate and accept that. Let me just give all of y'all your props. Grace, it's good to see you again. Congratulations again on Harlem.
Thank
I love
you.
seeing you. Antoinette, you and I worked on Heart of Dixie, girl.
We sure did. We sure did.
Let's go.
And Sikwa, brother, you better be the only Black person in ABC's Once Upon a Time to play Lancelot ever on TV. So and that was one of my favorite shows, so I just had to bring all of that up, right?
Yes.
But having said that, you guys, what does it feel like to be in this kind of film where the one Black person in the movie ain't getting killed off?
That's a testament.
And I'll start with I'll start with Grace. What did you say, Grace?
No, I was just laughing. I'm like, greater chances of survival here. Okay? How do we band together? And that's another thing, too. I think a lot of times, Black folk are killed off of horror film. We ain't got nobody else. Okay, so here we are as a unit holding on to each other saying, let's devise a plan to see how we can get out of this. You know what I mean? So if life is so much better when you're not alone.
We are our ancestors' wildest dreams.
We are.
Together we can survive this movie.
Yeah. Yeah.
On Juneteenth,
Fingers
Juneteenth.
crossed.
Juneteenth. Ooh,
Yeah.
that made me tee out loud. I'm like, y'all better have it happening on Juneteenth, not Memorial Day, not July 4th, which ain't really a holiday anyway. That's a whole nother discussion. Not not any other warm, not Labor Day, but on Juneteenth.
Yes.
But having said that, given the premise of the film, if one of y'all had to be the first one to go, the three of y'all, not your characters, but the three of y'all, who would be the first one to go?
If we had to be, I mean, are we choosing this?
Yes,
for
we're
ourselves?
choosing. We're making a choice.
I think we should guess on 5.
Look, the ladies are gonna survive. I'll die because I would rather them live than me die.
Oh,
Than die.
Qua.
No.
We'll miss you.
Yeah.
Don't buy into it. Don't do it.
She said we'll miss you.
I'm
You know,
kidding.
I was save
following
them both. Take me.
No.
Take me.
Yeah.
I like Antoinette. I like Antoinette's idea though of saying just screaming out a name on 3.
Out of the
Okay,
three of us?
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna say me.
No, you ain't gonna say you.
Okay,
3,
here we go.
2, 1.
Me.
Sinqua.
I said me!
And I said me too.
Oh, come on, you guys!
He said me. See, trauma.
Because he would have to sacrifice himself for us.
And I love how Antoinette was like, no, for real, Sinqua though.
Sinqua.
She's like, I'm not even gonna say me.
But like, I feel like the Caribbean women, we a little. We can't get you. Listen,
So we're survivalists.
Nobody's killing us.
We're
Yeah.
survivalists.
Yeah.
It's all right though.
No, you look. I sacrificed myself. Look, it's all good.
Yeah, chivalry is not dead.
Right.
Oh, I that's an easy question. It would listen. I would.
Yeah, I bite the bullet.
Yeah, I bite the bullet for my family.
and handle it. Yeah, if I had to pick amongst my sisters, I would probably pick my youngest sister. Just because she's more inclined to listen to me than my older sisters would. You know what I mean? They're not listening to me as much as my little sister is. And my little sister, she'll carry her weight. Like she's been bigger than me since I was 5. So you know what I mean? I ain't gotta carry her around or worry about protecting her physically. She can hold her own.
Let's talk about that scene where y'all are hiding up in the air vent.
Yes.
How long did it take to shoot that? Because I was like, really, y'all are in an air vent? How long did it take to shoot that? And how uncomfortable was it for you and Antoinette?
You know what's funny is like that was probably like, was it uncomfortable? I had the most fun that day because we were so tight.
It was the most fun, and he was comfortable because him and Dwayne were lying on the ground, and I literally had both of my thighs on both of their thighs, so I was lying on top of them so you could see my face. So I was the most uncomfortable, and in heels.
Yeah, you know what? Antoinette was the most. How uncomfortable was it for Antoinette? Obviously, a lot. For me and Dwayne, we were chilling. Like we were like, cool. We got our little spot.
But
All
we
right,
bonded
bet.
the most that
We
day,
did. That was
I
one of
have
the
to
best
say,
days.
yeah.
We were
It
up there
was.
for a long time.
It was all day.
And it was hot.
It was
Like, it
hot.
was-
It's a really
It was
funny moment, though.
hot.
That's a very, very funny moment.
Very funny.
It was hot.
Well, all 3 of y'all are hot too. And I
Oh.
love all 3 of you. You know I support everything that you guys do. And that's my time. But I'll see y'all soon.
I'll see you soon.
Thank you.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
Thank you, Carla. We had a good time, y'all. We had a good time. And that is just the tip of the iceberg of how much fun we had. You'll see the rest of the interviews. Like I said, I will put them up on YouTube and you can see all of them in their entirety with Tracy Oliver, Tim Story, Jay Farrell, Antoinette Robinson, and the whole crew. You'll at Sinqua Walls, Grace By. You'll see all of them online. Okay. Last but not least, let's talk about this Flash situation. Now, the Flash has been shrouded in controversy, mostly due to some alleged shenanigans by Ezra Miller, who is the Flash in the film. I gotta tell you, Ezra Miller as the Flash is kind of fire. He's kind of really good. And it's a shame that his presence in this film and the film is shrouded in controversy. I don't think it's going to stop people from seeing the film. I think they're going to like run and go see it. But he's really good in the film. it has this Back to the Future vibe, kind of mixed with a multiverse situation. And I'm kind of like, do we really need another film dealing with the multiverse? We had the original one, the Doctor Strange one for Disney. Then we dealt with the multiverse again with Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. And now we dealing with multiverses again in the Flash. Child, I'm about tired of seeing somebody's multiverse. Okay. I'm gonna need y'all to come up with another scientific thing. Having said that, is still a good movie, but this is the premise. It's a Warner Brothers film. It hits theaters on June 16th, and this is the premise. Worlds collide when the Flash uses his superpowers to travel back in time to change the past events in his life. However, when his attempt to save his family inadvertently alters the future, he becomes trapped in a reality which General Zod has returned, threatening annihilation. With no other superheroes to turn to, the Flash looks to coax a very different Batman out of retirement and rescue an imprisoned Kryptonian, actually not the one he's looking for. So that's the general premise of it. There's a beautiful scene with Ezra and the young woman who plays his mother. She is absolutely a fabulous actress, and so is Ezra Miller. He's very grounded. He's very rooted in what he does as the Flash. As big and over the top and crazy as superhero movies can be, he is actually very grounded. As I said previously, Sasha Calle is Supergirl is the ish. I'm telling you, she makes the whole movie. No pun, no shade, but she literally makes the whole movie. There's a bunch of cameos of a bunch of different Batmans, a bunch of different Supermans. I can't say who they are because it will ruin it for you, and it'll ruin the element of surprise for you. And then Warner Brothers won't be trying to invite me to no more movies. But having said that, you guys will love The Flash. It's really, really good. The soundtrack is absolutely fire. So just to recap what I have spoken about today, I want you guys to go see, of course, The Flash, which hits theaters on June 16th. It's a Warner Brothers joint. Daliland. And let me just say that the performances in this, yet again, are great. It is only in theaters. It has been in theaters since June 9th. The Blackening will hit theaters on Juneteenth, y'all. It hits theaters on Juneteenth. You really don't want to miss it. And of course, Flamin Hot, the Eva Longoria directed film about Richard Montañez, is on Hulu streaming right now and has been doing so since June 9th. Let me just say about Richard Montañez, I forgot to tell you this about him. He literally, this immigrant man helped make Frito-Lay a billion-dollar company. They were losing money. Frito-Lay was about to be out for the count until Richard Montañez came up with them Flamin' Hot Cheetos, honey. And when I tell you, I was like, I don't remember what those taste like. So I went and got me some Flamin' Hot Doritos, and I couldn't eat more than 3 at a time. And I love me some spicy and some hot, and I usually can handle it. But I couldn't handle more than 3 of them Flamin' Hot Cheetos at one time. I'm just saying, check it out if you can. All right, so I'm going to run so I can go watch the Tonys and catch up. But next week, I'm so excited. Next week, I have the entire cast. I've been talking about this one for a while, too. I have the entire cast of this movie right here, which is on Prime Video, called I'm a Virgo, headed by Jarrell Jerome. I'm also going to have Asteroid City, and I'm going to have The Perfect Find. And I'm also going to do Extraction 2, which is on Netflix, right? It's going to be on Netflix, I think, next week. And I was going to talk about it this week, but I had too much to talk about, and I want to go watch the Tonys. So there's that. So having said that, if this is your first time joining me, honey, click the bell for notifications. Give me a big thumbs up to let me know you were here. I know my boy Brandon popped by, and he always leaves me a message. He said he saw 2 movies in a row, Across the Spider-Verse and Transformers Rise of the Beast, and he's now seeing Elemental this week. Oh, I'll also have Elemental and Ruby Gilman in a little while too. So I wanted to let you know about that. All right. So having said that, y'all, take it light, be safe, be sane, have a wonderful, wonderful week, and I will see you next week. So until the next time, deuces.